President Obama is reestablishing full diplomatic relations with the communist regime in Cuba. I'm supposed to be opposed to this in the minds of many simply because Obama's for it. But I don't care who the president is, I would support taking a shot at normalizing relationships with Cuba. Here's why. Two main reasons. First of all, there's a lot of money to be made, a lot of business to be done on the island of Cuba. Second of all, and perhaps most important, I believe the doddering old Castro regime could well be toppled with an infusion of American free enterprise and just a sense of, well, wait a minute, the Americans come in and life gets better. They're building hotels, their stores are opening, businesses, etc. And the people on that island would say, the heck with this communism. We've been living in poverty for half a century, and they keep promising it's going to get better, and it only gets worse. I think you could reasonably see a scenario in Cuba as we go this route and reestablish diplomatic relations of the communist regime dying of its own weight and essentially dissolving almost overnight, the way we saw the old Soviet Union and the Eastern European communist bloc nations go in the late 80s and the early 1990s. And if all of a sudden we've got a more vigorous communist regime than ever, and some young dynamic commie succeeds the Castro brothers when they pass, we can still go in there and take them out and crush them. They don't have the Soviet Union behind them. The relationship with Russia is not the same. There are no missiles aiming at us as there were in the early 1960s in the Cuban Missile Crisis from the island of Cuba. And with our ability now to see everything from the sky with our satellites, if there were any military presence threatening us, we would know it. We'd be able to take action. Now, two impediments to moving to full relations with Cuba. The embargo can only be lifted by Congress, and that's problematic. I'm not sure there are the votes for that, with the Republicans controlling both houses of Congress. And of course, there's Guantanamo Bay. The Castro brothers want us to give it back. We can never give it back. And this cannot be used as an excuse by Obama to, for once and for all, realize his goal of closing down Club Gitmo. That said, I think there's more upside than downside on diplomatic relations with Cuba being restored. We'll see how it goes. Join us for the Friday edition of Bud Hedinger Live. Yes, it's officially a holiday for our station here, but we will be live 6 to 9 on Friday morning. My take and your calls on the hottest topics out there. We continue to follow the breaking news of a possible shooter at the Navy Yard in Washington, D.C. at this hour, just after 9 a.m. on Friday when I'm recording this Bud's Rants and Raves video. And we will continue to follow that all day. Follow me on Twitter on that and other hot topics on Twitter at Bud Hedinger. Okay? So there we go. See you in the morning here on News Radio 102.5 WFLA FM and still on AM 540.